You mentioned the Ahmed Swale murder 2019, which is now getting a first suspect who has been refused bail and is put in custody. Now, I don't know, the coincidence, people are saying it's curious. Are you?
Yes, I am curious, and I worry because the Afoko, the Gregory Afoko case is very fresh in my mind, that we need to pursue justice, but we need to be careful that prosecutors under pressure to quote unquote bring a solution don't maybe even innocently send an innocent man to prison. It will seem as if, for example, in the Gregory Afoko case, something like that happened. Then I remember that there was a U.S. Supreme Court Justice, Justice Souter, who before he became a Supreme Court Justice used to actually serve as Attorney General in the state of New Hampshire. And he said something that I think everybody in the judicial system should keep in mind. He said, in this office, we don't win cases or we don't lose cases, we just prosecute them. And he was saying that to say that sometimes people get so personally invested in quote unquote their success or delivering a culprit that sometimes they trample over the rights of the accused. So I hope that this arrest is not just coincidence, and that whoever the person is will get due process, and that in the end, both him and the late Ahmed Swale will get the justice that they deserve.
All right. Thank you. Hold on. I'll come back to you shortly. And Alfred Choyebua, thanks for joining us again. And Alfred Choyebua has already made some comments about this particular arrest. Ahmed Swale was assassinated, murdered on the 16th of January 2019. And it's been inextricably, his murder has been inextricably linked to Kennedy Agyapong blowing his cover and showing him on television and saying some other comments. That's what has been the situation. And the suspect who has been picked and in custody now, Daniel Owusu-Koranting, is supposed, aka Amache, is supposed to have been a former colleague who, according to the police, their process they put in court, he took a picture of him and appears to have taken the picture and sold it or whatever to Kennedy Agyapong. But this is a criminal process. Let's see how it unfolds. Now, Alfred, you may begin by some, brief comment on the defamation matter, and then we go to this particular one. What do you make of the comparisons that are being made with the Ghanaian judiciary? Frank Addison Jr., for example, says that the jury and the court in New Jersey made a silent statement. The system in the West frowns on abuse of power, wealth, and authority, especially when it is intended to intimidate ordinary people. What do you say? And we must put on record that Kennedy Agyapong's lawyers told us that as far as they are concerned, the matter is still ongoing, so they do not want to comment.
Right, thank you very much, Samson. Yes, I've followed the discussions, but before I come to what you've asked me to answer, I want to make a very short comment on the Galamsey issue. I mean, just a second on that. The minister has made it to understand that licenses that were issued after December 7th have been revoked. So the question I ask is, those people whose licenses have been revoked, is it not likely that some of them may want to go to court? And so we need to look at that. I'm also looking at Article 268 of the Constitution, which deals with ratification of mining licenses. I mean, so did they also go through that process? I mean, the minister has to also look at that side of the law. They will look at that. Then fast forward to the case in the US. I've listened to Counsel, because I think as counsel in the case, he's in a better position to give us the updates on the matter. those who were sitting here only read. He was in court live. But my issue has to do with the comparison that unfortunately Anas made. If you watch his video, you realize that he was trying to compare what we have in the US as against Ghana, and even went to the extent of mentioning the names of judges, especially the trial judge, Justice Barr. I think that's quite unfair. If you get to the US, as something you know, they deal with the jury trials or jury system when it comes to civil matters, especially in defamation. In Ghana, it's a single judge. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Counsel Adikame want to correct me. The jury there, they deal with the facts, but not the law. Trial of facts. But in Ghana, the judge will deal with the facts and the law. And so if in Ghana, you have a judge sitting on a matter to deliver judgment, I mean, you should grant him that right, grant him that kind of thing that he has done as a judge. And if you think that he has done something that is against the law, that's what the law requires. You can also go up on the appellate process. I think I understand he also did the same thing. And so Anas, as a lawyer in Ghana, who is also not only a lawyer, is the lines to practice in Ghana, must also be looking at the words that he's been using post this judgment. In any event, you come back to Ghana as a Ghanaian, maybe go to the courts.
You are saying that somebody who loses a suit in the court cannot criticize the judiciary of Ghana that they have been unfair, they didn't give him justice, or that whatever they did was a travesty. Is that not a criticism almost every loser makes?
Samson, I agree with you. If you file a case in court in Ghana and you lose, and you may want to analyze, critique the judgment, it's fair. But when you go to another jurisdiction on the same matter and then you win, and you begin to then compare, it means that you think that US is far better. US is a system where you can have justice and fairness. But if you come to Ghana, you cannot have justice and fairness. People have gone to court who have also lost, or they've won and still appeal against their judgments. I think it's unfair.
Okay, I get your point. But the comparison that people make, is there not also some sense in it that here we don't have, as it were, laws for the prosecution of a defamation matter, so to speak? We have just small rules within the CI 47, and over and again it's been requested that we need to, promulgate a law like you have in the UK, in the US. But